going on? It's Plant-Based with Nicole. I'm your host, Nicole Roche. Hey, how y'all doing? Come on in. Come on in. Oops. How y'all doing? I hope you're having a lovely day today. It's Plant-Based with Nicole. I'm your host, Nicole Roche, in case you missed it. Today, I am interviewing the lovely vegan soul foodie. And I'm always excited to talk to my guests and find out about their journeys and what they're doing to help the community. Hey, y'all. Hey, come on in. Share the live. Share the live. Vegan soul foodie. She is a minister of mind, body, and spirit who has founded the most engaging vegan community on the internet. She has authored 7 books, all dedicated to the health of Black women, mind, body, and spirit. So I am very excited to interview her today. I'm on a little early, so she'll be on at 2. In the meantime, how's everybody doing today? Hey, Kelly. Hey, Cleopatra, Stasia. Let's see who else is in here. Pretty Slimming, or AKA Jasmine. Lenny. Gigi. Mrs. H, Princess. How y'all doing? Hey, Carmen. I see my guest has arrived, so I'm going to go ahead and request to join, my love. Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, guys. And if you have questions, once I start interviewing her, put them in the question box as opposed to the chat. It's just a lot easier for me to see them and find them. Woo! All right, bringing her on now. Okay, I accepted it. Hey there, lovely.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
You can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Good.
You're loving the hair.
Thank you.
It's the natural hair for me.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I actually miss my my loose natural hair. I had before I locked my hair, I wore my hair natural for twice, 9.5 years each. 9.5 years, then I had some heat damage, so I just went ahead and permed it since it wasn't looking natural anymore anyway. Then I got tired of the perm, cut it off, started all over, grew it out again, wore it 9.5, and then I was over the natural hair. I was like, I'm over it. I'm tired of combing it out, and then I got locks.
I've been natural since 91.
Really?
Yeah. But then I had a
Wow,
little stint.
that's a long time.
I had a stint in there like around 2005 where I did a relaxer for about 8 months. And then I was like, oh, I forgot the hair breaks off. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Natural. So
Right.
I've been natural for since 91. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. Excuse me if you see me fanning, you guys. It's just a hot flash. It's actually just really hot in this room, so don't trip if you see me. And if I get hungry, don't trip. I might have to take a couple of bites of this watermelon.
Ooh,
Okay?
that looks good.
I have to have stuff on standby because I just because when I get hungry, I gotta eat. So anyway, yes, thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. So let's start off with I always love to start off with the journey. Like, how long have you been eating vegan? What inspired it? And then actually the next questions after that. Let's start there.
Okay. So in 1992.
That's when I graduated from high school.
That's when you graduated from high school?
Mm-hmm.
I was 22 at that time. In 1992, yeah, I decided to start eating plant-based, so vegetarian at the time. And so since that time, I've either been vegetarian, pescatarian, 100% plant-based, and raw plant-based. So currently, I'm 100% plant-based.
Yeah.
So it's been over 30 years of, this.
It's a long time.
Plant-based journey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, back then we didn't even call it vegan. We called it strict vegetarian or vegetarian.
I didn't know nothing about what vegan was or nothing of that until I was 35, and I'm 48 now. But I never even heard of that term vegan before I was 35. That's weird.
It was new. Well, when you were 35, what was that, in like around the 2000s
I
then?
think 2009 or something.
Oh, okay.
So I'm 40, I'll be 49 this year. So
Hmm.
that was like 14 years ago. So 2023 minus 14, I can't add right now. I think it was like 2009.
Yeah, well, they started the term in the early 2000s, the vegan
Okay.
term. It was a
I just
new
wasn't,
term. It wasn't
yeah,
around. When I was 22, there was no such thing as the word. I mean, they
right,
say it came out in the 60s, but in the regular lexicon, I didn't notice it until around the early 2000s.
right. And I was, back then, I wasn't thinking about nobody's vegetarian stuff. I was eating my meat. Excuse me. I was eating meat, chicken,
Yeah,
fish.
yeah.
But anyway, okay, cool. So when you went plant-based in 1992, or actually when you transitioned to fully plant-based,
Hmm.
did you like have any health benefits or healing or weight loss or anything? Excuse me.
No, well, I don't know. I don't think, I think that for me, it's just been a um, consistent journey. I don't think that I had any. I've never gotten like over a size 12.
Hmm.
Mostly I stay in the 8-10 range.
You just
But
kind of
when
maintained.
yeah, but when I'm like really off the rails, I might go up to a 12, but that's very rare. So I wouldn't say that I had any really big shifts. I will say this: I'm the only one in my family of origin that is plant dominant, is what I like to call myself, plant dominant. Um, and everybody has high blood pressure, diabetes, or something. So
Wow.
I don't know what could have happened. I
Right.
just know what has happened with me is I just have maintained. But my siblings and my mother, they all have like chronic illness.
Mm. It's time to well, I don't believe in like forcing people to do anything, but I know you've been planting seeds because you're living your lifestyle in front of them, right? So it's like you led them to the water indirectly, but it's up for them to
Oh,
drink,
but my
right?
grandmother, my mother's mother, was vegetarian for 50 years. So they had a
Really?
plant, they had a seed planted way before
Oh
me.
yeah. Well, you got the foundation.
Yeah.
They just they went up to the water fountain, but they ain't trying to take a drink.
I mean, and I all except for one, they've all tried the plant-based here or there, you know, all except for one sibling. The rest of
Yeah.
them, my brother, he has diabetes, and he does a raw fast about once or twice a year. And he might be plant-based at this time. Last time I checked, that
Yeah.
was right outside of his fast, but sometimes he goes back. So I don't know what his status is right now. But they know, and they just do what they want to do, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta let
There's
people
not
be
nothing
who they are.
I can't really do anything about it, but just keep living my life. They're
Right.
very intrigued at what's happening with me with this vegan community that I lead. They're very intrigued by
Yeah.
that.
And it sounds like they try it sometimes, but they just don't stick with it. But
Well, they
that's
eat
good.
they eat vegan food. They've always eaten vegan and vegetarian food.
Hmm.
But they don't, not at
Not
all. Yeah,
fully.
Seventh Day
Not
Adventist.
fully.
That someone said something about Seventh Day Adventist. That is why. Yeah, my family is Seventh Day Adventist.
Oh,
So that is
oh, oh,
so
okay. Oh, I
that's
didn't
the
even see
reason
those
why.
comments.
Yeah, I'm not Seventh Day Adventist. I stopped being Seventh Day Adventist about 22 years ago, but my family is. So
Okay.
and if you're a Seventh Day Adventist, you're very, very aware of the plant dominant lifestyle.
Right.
It's up to you whether you
Um,
do it or not.
right, exactly. First of all, I just want to say thank you everybody for joining. What's up, Doms? Thank you guys for coming and joining. Share the live, you guys. I have Vegan Soul Foodie here. Vegan Soul Foodie, aka Brooke. So you're the author of 7 books. Congratulations. That's a lot. I've interviewed a lot of people who are authors, but never that many books. So that's quite a great accomplishment. So like what inspired you to write these books, and then just talk to me about how or about what the books are about, and then how people can purchase them.
All my books are on Amazon. And I think I would probably say it's more like 8 books, but I pulled one off of Amazon. So it's
Oh,
not for sale at all.
okay.
My first book I wrote back in, well, I started writing it in 2003, but then in 2011, Amazon came out with this way for you to put self-publish yourself and come out with, it's called KDP. So I put my first book out in 2011, and that was about long-lasting relationships, because I've been married almost 30 years. So back at that time, yeah.
Oh, won't he do it? Hallelujah! Glory to your name. Look, that's an accomplishment, okay? Woo! Give me hope.
30 years in October.
You gave me hope. I'm only on year 4.5, so you gave me some hope, girl.
Okay, good deal. So the first one was about, because so many people had asked, she be writing. That's what my husband said. She be writing.
That's your husband?
Yeah, Craig Hockey.
Hey, Craig.
So the first one was about long-lasting relationships and just some tips on how to stay in a relationship. And because so many people would ask me all the time, and they always would say this question: how do you get a good man? How do you get a good man? And I'm like, it's more than just getting a good man. You got to be a good woman. Hold up, So the first one was written about that, and then the next one, my father passed away, and and I had already been practicing yoga, but I used yoga. Yeah, that's okay. It was, it happens. It's life. It was in 2012. I use yoga. Like, I practiced 3 or 4 hours a day of yoga for a year.
4 hours a day?
Mm-hmm. To heal.
Yes.
To heal from that mourning process, because I was mourning. So I would I lived in Austin, Texas at the time, and I would go from one Y to another Y, catching all the classes, and I really literally practiced about 3 or 4 hours a day. Wow. And so that's how I got through the pain of living somewhere I didn't want to live, my father passing away, having a tax lien, getting evicted wrongfully. All of these things happened like really in a 6-week span. I was like,
wow, that's a lot.
So that's what I did to heal. Is prior to that, I had, so that was in 2012 that happened, but I had already gone through a bunch of loss since 2007 with my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, losing houses through the recession, all of this kind of stuff. So I had so much loss and all this kind of,
that's a lot to deal with.
A heavy spirit. So I started practicing yoga about 3 or 4 hours a day, and I felt healed and free. And after the year, I felt like healed and free, and I started writing a book about using yoga, and I'm a yoga instructor now, about using yoga and mindfulness, to heal and especially for Black women who follow the Christ. I'm a metaphysician, so I'm not a traditional Christian, but I am a minister. I'm a metaphysical practitioner, so I am a reverend in metaphysics, but it's not really traditional Christianity. So that's why I say for Black women who follow the Christ, because some people don't even know that Christ is a title and not a last name. But anyway, so I wrote a book called Love God Herself, Yoga and Mindfulness for Black Women Who Follow the Christ. Okay. And then I wrote so when the George Floyd thing happened, I was in, I don't know, where's that called? I was the Florida Keys. I was down there with my family, and it didn't even register all of that was going on. I was just trying to get away because of the pandemic, trying to find a place to vacation that was away from people. And something was on my heart, and I had written this long letter to white women. I guess I did know about George Floyd, but it wasn't as deep as I thought. So I wrote this letter, an open letter to white women about what they could do, because I always encourage all my Black women clients to do self-discovery, and that's how we get out of all the stuff that we're carrying, right? Self-discovery, get to know ourselves. So I was like to white women, instead of getting out in the street, I need you to do self-discovery, because that's going to do a lot more for this situation than getting out in the street. So a white woman wrote me, and it's literally, as soon as I close my computer on that open letter, here comes an email from a white lady. And she's like, I read your article that you wrote on surrounding your book for Black yogis, and I'm a Christian, and we just really loved it, and blah blah blah. And I was like, who invited you? That's what I'm thinking, right? Because the title of the book clearly says, "Love God Herself: Yoga and Mindfulness for Black Women Who Follow the Christ." So I was like, who invited her? That's so weird. And she's writing me, telling me that she has a website about yoga and Christians in there, and her group of white ladies had gone through my book, and they loved it, and they were pulling out pieces, and they had written pretty much like a little manifesto over on their website about the book. And I was like, feeling away. I was feeling away about that. But I went inside myself. I opened my heart and I said, okay, so if this touched them, even though it's not about them, I let them interview me or whatever. I said, if this touched them, it's not really about them. And they got all in my book, even though on the title it says it's for Black women. I'm just going to, let that be. And anyway, that caused me to write a journal from the book that was for all women and not just for Black women. That experience was part of my offering to all women. And then the rest of the books are all about vegan soul food.
Yay!
One is about fasting, how to fast without being hungry, because I do raw and juice fast twice a year. And I've been doing that since 2012 as well. And so I used to be an admin of a juice group, and we go on these fasts, and they really just wanted to like juice and then lose 30 pounds. And then they never had a plan on how to transition out of that, what their new diet was going to be, what they were going to be doing after that. And that really didn't sit well with me, because I'm a behavioral scientist. I have a master's degree in behavioral science. So I know that just yo-yo dieting is not, I didn't like that. So anyway, eventually they threw me out of there after four years of admitting that group. They threw me out. And, but I still continue to raw and juice fast for years. Still, my husband and I, we do that. And so I wrote, one of the books that I wrote was like a 10-step process on how to raw and juice fast without being hungry, and also some recipes in there as well. And then the rest of the recipes are like traditional vegan soul food, sauces and dips and dressings, and
that sounds interesting.
Another one that meat lovers will enjoy. So that's the 7 books.
I need to get that one about how to do it without being hungry.
Yeah, I think
I need to get that one.
Yeah, it's you should. It's a good thing to get, because it's a good step that starts even before you begin. Because sometimes people just were like, I'm doing it tomorrow, and there's more to it than that. You know what I mean? It's like
you gotta set it up.
Yeah. Thank you, Lori.
Yes, thank you, Lori. I heard me. I said it under my breath. I was trying not to interrupt you, but I wanted to say thank you to her. Thank you, Lori.
Okay. So I think I got all that out about the books.
That sounds, that's what, now I've done raw cleanses a lot. I just did a 44-day one from January to February, but juicing, that one, I got to pray about that one. Nah. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I feel like I'm scared, because like when I don't eat, that's why I got this bowl of watermelon on standby, because when I get hungry, I got to eat like soon, or else I start feeling sick. So that's what keeps me from doing juice fasts, because I'm like, if I'm dealing with that just on a regular life, like what happens if I do a juice fast? I'm just only doing liquids, and that's just not enough. Am I going to get sick too? Or is it going to be different because my mindset is focused on the fact that I'm doing a juice cleanse for spiritual reasons, or if I do fasting? So I'm curious to see your book about how to do it without being hungry.
Well, what I suggest is don't do a juice fast. I do a juice and raw fast. I have done an all juice fast. And to me, it has no, I'm not going to say it has no purpose, but for my purposes, I don't need it. Like, I would rather chew raw food and juice than just do all juice. I know people who do all water. I know someone who did all water. I think this girl she's on Vegan Soulicious. She's doing all water right now, I think. I don't see. That's not me.
That's not you.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like
girl. That's not me either.
Yeah. I feel like, yes, I like to cleanse. You know what I mean? I do like to cleanse. I like to fast. But for me, I don't see the purpose of just doing all juice or all water. I'm not at that point in my life where I see the value in that. Next week, I might. You know what I mean? Yeah. But right now, I feel like, hey, I like to put a little nuts inside of my broccoli salad. You know, I make a nice raw sauce for it. I like to, I'll do a lot of juicing when I'm fasting, so because, you're not doing any other kind of thing, like no other kind of drink. So water and juice, I do lots of that. Smoothies, because that's a quick way to get everything in. But maybe it's because I spent so many years admitting that group, the juice meals. That was the name of it, juice meals group. That I feel like, because another thing, I would see people. They would go on their juice fast. Everybody was doing it together. And then they would come and they would write a post like, I ate lettuce. I'm so ashamed. And I'm like,
I know. Lettuce? I'm like, girl, you are a human being. You can do whatever you want to do. Ain't nobody made you sign a contract.
And that's what I'm saying. You ate lettuce, but you didn't eat that hamburger that you were getting away from. Pat yourself on the back. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm just not into torture. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I like that. I like that you said that, because it's like you got to do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? What's going to be feasible for you. Now, for you, I like that you said that, though, like incorporating the juicing with the raw. Like for me, I did raw for 44 days, and I felt like I got a good cleanse out of that. Yes. Girl, I don't know what was coming out of me, but it sure needed to come out. No. Yes. And I felt I literally felt like I was just cleansing stuff from back in kindergarten. No, I'm just kidding. That's
really, yeah. But
you know what I'm saying?
You do feel it.
Yeah, so I felt like I got a pretty good cleanse out of eating all raw. And some people might be able to do all juice, and kudos to y'all. God bless you. Hallelujah. But like for me in my house, no. But yeah, I might just, instead of me trying to force myself to do something, I don't have to do that, Right. My way of cleansing might just be doing the raw. And so I like how you said incorporating the juice with the raw. That's a good balance. That's a good way to cleanse and still be able to nibble a little bit.
But you see, like I said, that's how I feel right now. But you see that when my father passed away and I was in all that pain. Yeah.
I said your mind can change though.
Yeah, I was in all that pain. I had to practice 3 to 4 hours a day just to have my sanity. So if something, happened, I might be like, oh, I gotta just only do juice and water. That's it. I don't know. But right now, I don't see the point of it. I'm good.
Your body will let you know.
Your body will really happy with what I do. That's it. And your mind and your spirit will let you know as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, good. You guys go check out her books. They're all in your link, right?
Yeah, they're in my link, and you could just go to Amazon and search vegan soul foodie and you will find them.
Okay, you guys go check out her books. T Vegan said, I did a 21-day juice cleanse. I didn't have a good after plan, so I preferred to just eat raw and incorporate juices. Yeah, that's perfect for me. But yeah, you got to just do what your body tells you to do. That's period, point blank. Right. If it says I want all juices, then you need to do that. If it says I want all water, I'm just praying my mind don't ever tell me that. I'm like, I rebuke you. No, I'm just playing. But I
think I would probably try all water before chemo, but I don't have any problems like that. But I think that because I probably would try something like that.
Try to heal yourself naturally.
Yeah, that's just a thought. And then if I got to the end of it and I still needed it, I would probably do the chemo. But I would try water first.
You would try not to as long as you can.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you talk about your brand, Vegan Soul Foodie. Who's Vegan Soul Foodie? I know that you Tell me about your purpose and your mission and what you wanted to accomplish by creating your brand.
Well, the thing that I really want to accomplish by creating this brand is revolutionizing soul food. And to me, okay, so I read an article, I don't know how many years, maybe 2018, 2017, something like that, that said one of the leading causes of Black people dying was like soul food. And I was like, well, that's really, we don't need to die because of soul food, because I haven't eaten soul food for years, but I don't eat traditional soul food. You know what I mean? And it's good and it's tasty, and we don't need to die from soul food.
Right.
So I got this idea to start a group where we would not talk about health, not talk about the politics of veganism, but just talk about how to prepare and how to eat vegan food, where to find the food, how to prepare it, what the different aspects were, all that kind of stuff. And I started that in November 2019, and it's now at almost 500,000. It's grew pretty big. And so out of that group grew the brand Vegan Soul Foodie, which it still has the same tenets. You know, we're about transitioning. I'm not even going to say we're about transitioning. We're about enjoying vegan food, mind, body, and spirit. So you don't even have to say that you're vegan. You don't have to say you're plant-based. You don't have to be that. All I'm asking is that you try some fried mushrooms, even though somebody cussed me out the other day for that. Try some fried.
Why'd they cuss you out?
For frying mushrooms, for using oil.
Get your life. Whoever cussed her out, get your life. Okay, sorry.
But I just feel like it's important to me that we revolutionize soul food. So in a way, you can consider me sort of like a kindergarten class for vegan eating. And then if you want to go further, all the way up to college with vegan eating, you know, and do water fast and all that kind of stuff, that's completely up to you. Do that. But what I know is that there's a gazillion of people that are my cousins, that are my family, that are all this kind of stuff, that eat soul food. And they would like to do something healthier, but they do not know how. And they are so dependent on self-soothing from food that they cannot see themselves just eating carrot sticks and quinoa. So I am here to say, try to fry mushrooms. Make the greens without meat. Here, put some garlic in there, some celery and some onions. Try that with the olive oil. You know, try these beans like this. Put a little liquid smoke or smoke yeast in there. Try to smoke paprika. You know, I'm here to say, let's revolutionize soul food. Let's put some superfoods in there. Let's take away some of the meat and see if you can do that. Let's try that. Because like there was a time that, you know, when I was young in the Black community, people felt like eating fish and wheat bread was like really doing it. And then that was in the 70s. I eat fish and I eat wheat bread, and so I'm healthy. Okay, yeah, that's better than Wonder Bread and better than, you know, pork chops. Cool. and then the next step was people would say, like, I don't put pork in my greens, I put smoked turkey in my greens. And then we're like, oh, okay, cool. I think the smoked turkey is probably better than the pork. Good. So now I'm here to say, let's go a step further. Let's just take the meat out of the greens. And they're still really good.
Come on now.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And and it's happening. It's happening. So that's really amazing. Our purpose, is to revolutionize soul food. It doesn't, you don't have to do all the other stuff, label yourself, do this, do that, fight people on the internet, none of that. All you have to do is learn how to add more fruits and vegetables into your diet in a way that feels familiar to you, like your traditional soul food.
Yes. Without all the back fat.
All of that.
Hand bones and.
Without
neck. No.
All the stuff. You don't necessarily need all of that stuff. But if you do eat it, that's not my business. But I can show you try to do some alternative things.
Yes, we're not here to judge.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two questions in a box, or actually just one.
Mm-hmm.
And you or I can answer this question. But before I do, girl, your page though. Speaking of, I don't know how you be doing it, but your page had me feeling real emotional last night in a good way. Like I want to go eat. You know, I saw some catfish on your page, and I was like, dang, Gina. I saw some mac and cheese. You know, your burger, the vegan ham. I was like, Lord Jesus, give me the strength I need in the name of Jesus, because I was about to order FedEx. I was about to have you FedEx me some food overnight. No, I'm just playing. But no, yeah, you got a gift. You got a gift. You're very what's that word? Creative. Your food looks great. I'm pretty sure it tastes great. So I just want to give you your props because you doing your thing. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me ask this question in the box. K Eva 4567 says, "Good afternoon, ladies. What is a raw vegan diet?" Would you like to answer that?
Sure. Or? So a raw vegan diet is not eating food that is over 118 degrees, and and so when we say raw vegan, that means you're eating plants and vegetables that have not been prepared over 118 degrees. You can use a dehydrator to give you a little crunch there. You can make all kinds of different salads, and you can make raw burgers, kale chips, raw pizza, raw pizza, all kinds of things like that.
Yes.
So basically, the whole gist of it is that the food has not gone above 118 degrees. And so it's keeping all its enzymes and all the nutrients and all the stuff that's good for you. And you're getting like all of the good raw essence of the food. And that makes you healthier. It makes you glow. Yeah. It makes you illuminate. It makes you have energy. It makes you have your spiritual faculties clear, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, and I like to add to that. A lot of people, when they go raw, they like to do a lot of the gourmet raw stuff. But if you're like me and you're lazy, I keep it hecka simple. I just be eating fruit, smoothies, salads. I'll make my nice cream. Nice cream is what I do is just blend frozen fruit in my food processor till it comes out like ice cream consistency. And I'll eat it like it's ice cream. When I did my 44-day cleanse, raw cleanse in January, February, I did experiment. I used a few people, Delilah Raw Fit, Raw Food Romance, their cookbooks, and I experimented with some, I guess you would consider gourmet raw dishes. And it was fun to experiment, but I am lazy, so I keep it real simple. So I don't use the dehydrator a lot because I'm lazy. But yeah, and it's a really great way for the person that asked that question. It's a really great way to just give your body a reset and to, like she said, cleanse, you know, like, cause if you go from either a American standard American diet or even just a junk food vegan diet to eating a raw diet, your body's going to be like, ah! You know, but it's going to like really just allow your body to cleanse. You'll feel refreshed. You might have some detox symptoms, may or may not, but it'll pass. But it's a really good, I would say everyone should try doing raw at least once or twice a year, 2 weeks, 30 days, something like that. I advise it. I mean, I encourage it. So yeah, last question before we bring to a close is, what's involved with your spiritual eating coaching? And then before you answer that, what's a sample day of your eating? I just kind of want to know, like, what a sample day might be. I know it's always going to be different, but.
Well, I usually start eating around maybe 2 p.m.
2 p.m.? Ooh, child.
I intermittent.
By then.
I intermittent fast. I intermittent fast. So, yeah. So usually when I start eating is around 2-ish. And I try not to start with anything carby or anything like that. I'll just try to make sure it's, kind of balanced. Or I might even just eat a pickle so that the first thing on my stomach is just not, the first thing on my stomach is not something crazy, like potato chips or, something like that. I might I just might eat a pickle or some olives and things like that. And then I start preparing my food. And I really eat whatever feels good in my spirit that day. So
Yeah.
I will fry up some enoki mushrooms to get cussed out for it.
That
No,
sounds
no,
heckin' good.
it was
That
really good.
sounds bomb.
Yeah, so whatever feels good to me, that's what I'll get in there and I'll make, And so it could be mushrooms, and it has to be whatever's in my refrigerator. So I have to use whatever's there. Like I literally open up the fridge and say, "What are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do today, brain? Try to take over the world." No, so yeah, that could involve anything. I don't have a bunch of restrictions in terms of gluten-free, or I like pea protein pasta, but if I can't find it, I'll eat regular pasta. I don't have a lot of restrictions.
Yeah.
And, considering I am 100% plant-based, some people say, "What do you mean you don't have a lot of restrictions?" Outside of being 100% plant-based, I don't have a lot of restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really drink soda. We don't have a whole bunch of snacks in the house, like chips and things like that. I might buy one every 2 weeks, and then we eat all of that. So there's not a whole lot of snacking, not a whole lot of sweets and things like that. I keep nuts on hand and dried fruits and things like that. But pretty much, I eat soul food, vegan soul food.
Yum, 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 yum. Last two questions is talk about what's involved in your spiritual eating coaching, and then where would you like everyone to follow you or check out what links and stuff like that?
So with my spiritual eating coaching, before I started Vegan Soul Foodie, I've always put my vegan food on the internet, but before I started this whole brand and everything, I did spiritual coaching and spiritual guidance, and it's always been surrounding self-exploration, getting in touch with yourself. We go through I did it for couples, I do it for individuals, for women's retreats, individual sessions, all of that. I've always done that. So it's really just the same thing, understanding where your joy is in terms of your food, because you're going to explore yourself. So we go through a whole program that I built. I made a whole system that I use with couples, with individuals, with food, everything. It's the same system. It takes you through basically knowing who you are, then looking at expectations that you may be fulfilling for others without knowing it. So you may be still fulfilling old roles from when you were a child and you didn't feel safe. Your parent feeling, you might be still doing things that you think your parents expect, your teachers expect, your community expect, without really being aware and knowing it, right? And then the next thing you go into is like clearing out old, forgiveness, moving away from things that you're carrying that you need to cleanse, just like you would do with cleansing with your fruits and vegetables. You can also cleanse out all the forgiveness and things, self-forgiveness, guilt, cleanse that all out. And then also your relationships, like just examining relationships. And then after we've done all of that, looked at all of that, then we can start looking at what's inside of your cabinet. What are you buying? What are your habits? Because it doesn't make any sense to just start clearing out your cabinet and all of this kind of stuff, because you're not going to change if you're emotional eating, if you're doing what your mother wants you to do, if you're doing what your auntie told you was the right thing. None of that's going to change if it's deeply embedded. So you have to get through all of that first, and then you can look at what you're eating. And then that's when you'll start to see real change. And then you will be eating from joy. And you don't have to say a bunch of don'ts and no's and I'm angry at this and this is terrible. No, you don't have to do any of that. You could make your choices and feel really, really good about them. Like, I am happy with this.
Amen.
Not that I don't do that. I don't eat that. The system, they're trying to get me. That's I don't do. No, you don't have to do any of that. You can just say, that's not for me, and make your choice and eat it and feel really, really good, mind, body, and spirit. So you don't have to worry about any gastro problems, any problems, all that kind of stuff. You won't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. Are eating from joy now.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
so
that's basically
that's basically what the spiritual eating coaching is about. Just getting to know yourself, getting to all that stuff that's got you going here, and then just getting to a point where we're eating from joy.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for breaking that down. If y'all interested, I'm pretty sure everything is in your bio, right?
Yeah. I guess someone went to my link and saw that. So yeah, you can definitely hire me for that if you're interested.
Yeah. Yes, you guys hit her up if you are interested in getting some spiritual eating coaching and getting to the root and just helping you all around. She also has 7 books, you guys. They're all on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon, type in vegan soul foodie, or you can go find everything in her bio. Make sure you follow her. Follow me if you feel led. Thank you guys for everyone that joined today. We appreciate your support because we are all here to spread the message of health. Okay, we're not here to shove it down people's throats, but we are here to plant seeds. Hallelujah!
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. Let the church say amen.
Let the church touch your neighbor.
And say health. Health.
No, slap your neighbor. Look, my pastor is like, slap your neighbor and say no. But anyway, thank you so much, Brooke. I really appreciate you inspiring. You inspired me. Your food is amazing. You are very talented. Keep doing what you're doing. And everyone that joined, thank you again. Those that will watch later, thank you. And I will see you guys on the next time. And you can go ahead. I'm just going to announce my guests for next week. So God bless you, dear.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
See you on the ground. Oh, follow me back. So when I add you as a collaborator, oh, she gone already. If you're still listening, Brooke, follow me back so I can add you as a collaborator. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. Next week, May 7th, I will be interviewing According to Trend. She helps women restore health with juice fasting. I will be interviewing her 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST. So you guys, I'll be back to my normal time next week. So make sure you tune in, and I will see you. God bless you all.